Hello, this is the H Doctor, and today I'm going to show you how I sample using the more preferred digital mesh that I use. So first what we're going to do is open up a web browser such as Firefox. So once that's open, I'm going to go to whosample.com, which is a really good place where you can search your favourite hip hop songs from the 90s or whatever song uses samples, and then you can be inspired and maybe use samples from those favourite songs. And to search those samples up, you can find the key and the BPM on tuneback.com as well, and that should give you a pretty good idea to where to start. So we're going to go onto YouTube just for today, even though that whosample does have videos you can use. So if you find a really good 90s hip hop sample you like, like Man Told Jordan's is how you do it. It actually has the YouTube videos embedded into the website, and you can record straight from there, and I'll show you how to do it in a minute. So yeah. So just to mention, I've got this app called MPC Beats, which you can find somewhere online. You can get it free if you have an MPC controller, and you can find a good one on Amazon. I mean, they're a little bit expensive, but if you really want to do this sort of thing, then this is another alternative. And what I usually do is to record it is go into sample mode here, and I just hit record there, and then from YouTube or whatever. And then also, after I've recorded the sample, I can edit the sample in Sample Edit with drums, cymbals, snares, kicks, that sort of thing, etc. And also the samples themselves, and they're all here as programs, as you can see. And also here you can time stretch, you can change the pitch. As you can see, I just play a little bit. Of course, the music that you hear in the background is not the actual song I'm using for this track. For some reason my computer didn't want to record the sound for some reason, just so I recorded everything. But also I just wanted to show you how you would record the sound from the computer. So basically I've got a screen recording thing here, and I use Black Hole, as you can see here. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to see. I mean, I don't have a blur filter to blur out my name, so I'm going to have to do this for now. But hopefully you can just about see where my mouse is and what I'm pointing at. And Black Hole basically records all your audio from your computer, so your internal audio will go straight to the GarageBand here, which I'm going to open up. So once that's opened up, going to go on to tuneback right here, tuneback.com again, and I'm going to search up our sample, which today is going to be Jolene. And this is because I was actually inspired by another YouTube person out there. I think it was in the news in America, and I don't know, it got trending for some reason. Basically what he did is he played a 45 RPM track, Jolene, at the original speed at 45 BPM, which is like roughly 112 beats per minute at C minor, and he slowed it down to, I think it was like 85 or something, and was it D major or something like that, I'm not too sure, but I think I remember doing that. So I'm just going to replicate that just for demonstration purposes, and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to go into this video, and then I'm going to record it. There you go, you can't really hear the audio because I've got a different track on here. As I already said, for some reason it didn't record the audio. And of course you can record YouTube audio at quarter of a speed at 0.5 playback speed, and of course you can speed it up if you want it to sound like a dance track, so maybe do a 1.25 a little bit. But I'm just going to set it to normal for now. So this is actually much more better. As you can see, I've already gone and recorded the track, so all we'll have to do is go to start, which is around here somewhere. So if I zoom in, as you can see, this is called the leader right here, and basically this is the very first bit, like the very first snippet of the track, if you get what I mean, you know, like the first millisecond or whatever it is. So now that's all lined up, I've equalised everything, and so now what I'm going to do is go into the scissor icon, click on the follow, tempo and pitch, make sure it's ticked, and it's the right BPM and everything. The key doesn't really matter, the BPM doesn't really matter, but you know, at least you're sort of going on the basis of what it says on the website, so it might not be exactly the same BPM or key or whatever it is. But I found this other website really handy just to make sure that the BPM's accurate enough. You know, in your head you can count to this, and basically it counts full beats, and also you can do 3-4 as well, when probably other speeds I'm not too sure. But anyway, I've already done that, and of course we can add, we can see what the key is by, let me hit Command K here. And of course you won't be able to hear, but as you can see, I'm not completely sure what C sharp. Because it's technically a related, relatable key. I'll show you all the relatable keys and circle fifths in a few minutes, but that's basically how you find the key if you can't find it online, and there probably is other websites out there that give you more details that aren't found on other websites that you probably found out. But anyway, this is the sample here, and I lost my progress obviously for some reason, so we're back here again. So I've done it to 110, which is a little bit slow, but you know, it goes to the right thing here, so it's a little bit out of sync. So I'm going to go down to time quantize, and then go and click on 6/4 note, make sure I follow tempo pitch on, so it's nice and tight, as they say in the music industry. You know, you've got to hear it on the one, you know. And we're going to open up the Apple Loop library here, and it's next to the notepads right at the top right hand corner here. And you don't need to use the Apple Loops unless if you want to, you know, change the effect or something in the plugin settings. I'll show you that in a minute. But here's my loops that I already made, and of course these are samples that I've already used in other projects. I've done a load of instrumentals, as you can probably see by the titles. You might recognise some of them, and of course you can't hear them because I have to keep saying it again, but my computer refused to record the audio for some reason, but let's not worry about that. But basically this is all the samples, and yeah, so that's basically that. And I've got to drag it over here. Hang on, let me see. So drag it over here, see you've got the green plus icon there, and of course you're going to have to give it a title, not untitled, because otherwise you're not going to be able to find it again. So I'm just going to put Jolene by, hang on a minute, Dolly Parts, and that's it. Right, so if you go to the genre, and of course it's country here, so I'm not going to click that yet. So basically you can do hip hop, includes a bit of funk, maybe a little bit of hip hop samples, you know, lyrics and stuff. So they can, and maybe a little bit of jazz, maybe a little bit of rock and blues, maybe a bit of vintage beats. You know, if it's an instrumental, maybe, you know, in urban there's sort of like links with the instrumental, but you know, it's sort of hip hop sort of thing with vintage breaks. But that's that anyway. So for this personally, I think it's quite melodic because, you know, it just sounds really good, and of course it's going to be groovy because, you know, it's all links up with that. It's a little bit processed because, you know, it's an old recording. It's cheerful because, you know, it's sort of like laid back, so maybe a bit relaxed. So let me click on that, and of course it's all acoustic, obviously. There's a little bit, maybe a little bit distorted because, you know, it's an old recording still, and it's a single thing because, you know, it's only Dolly Parton that's singing it. There's no one else playing any other instruments, I think. but it probably is, but I'm just going to keep it a single. Of course it's clean if it's like you know, like a digital version of a song, so maybe you might choose that, and maybe it might be a bit intense for certain hip-hop tracks, but then again it might be a bit cheerful and intense at the same time, and also it's going to be really groovy and a bit processed, and just that's basically the foundation for 90s hip-hop sort of thing, or boom bap as everyone likes to call it nowadays. So basically what DJs would have done back in the day is put the vinyls on the record, like this one, as you can see, the Isley Brothers, Hold On To Your Guns, with a song called Footsteps Over the Bridge, and basically that was sampled in Ice Cube's It Was a Good Day. Yeah, that's a song now I remember. And of course this is George McRae, and you get the idea. So this is obviously sampled in Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice, and basically what DJs would do is they put the vinyl on record, they change a 45 speed record and they turn it down to probably like, I don't know, minus, was it 21 RPM, which is equivalent to beats per minute because it's counting it per the minute, if you get what I mean. So it technically sort of translates to its own thing. And obviously I used someone else's video here just, you know, for reference, and I've changed the sound a little bit, so hopefully I won't get any strikes or anything like that. But I'm talking over the video anyway, so hopefully that should clear everything up. So I'm going to leave this playing now, and I'm just going to keep quiet, and then you should be able to hear the difference either in the background or right now. I hope you really liked that. This is just me doing it on my iPhone. You can do it digitally as well on this app called DJ, and it's free on the App Store. It does come with a premium version, and obviously you're going to have to, you know, like, pay for Spotify or something like that. But I've recorded it off YouTube, put some drums to it on GarageBand, and as you can see here I put a little bass line with a music guitar right here. And quite obviously I had to mix it so it sounds pretty funky, you know. Just need to like get the EQ right, and my iPhone can actually record the audio, which is really good, so I don't have to use any third-party apps like OBS for this one. But now back to the Mac with the audio off. This is GarageBand again. So with the calculator, you want to, so like if it's 110, you will probably take away probably like 21, that's the usual speed, so it's 89, so about roughly, you know, like 90 BPM it needs to be at, because, you know, was it 21 is divisible by 7 as, was it divisible 7 by 3, so 7 times 3 is 21, so that sort of makes sense, because it's like, was it, you know, like, you need to do like 4 and maybe a 3 times table, but I did a 3 times table because I'm taking off a third of that original BPM, so it'll be like, so you've got to ask yourself what could be like divisible by 3 that I can take away from that BPM speed. And this is circle of fifths, so basically what this is basically in music theory, circle of fifths is a way of organising trigonometric pitches in a sequence of perfect fifths. If a C is chosen as a starting point, the sequence is C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, A flat, E flat, B flat, F, and then continue pattern from the F, and it goes back to the C. And this was used a lot in jazz, so basically what jazz musicians would do is play the original sort of like key of the song, but then they'll go to a relative chord, as you can see here on the circle fifth. So basically starting from C, as you can see, it sort of goes around in a circle, and basically you go from, you know, like C, G, D, A, E, and then all course the minors, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, A flat, and, you know, like they're relatives as well, F minor, C minor, G minor, and D minor, and all like relative minors. So basically it's a semitone down from the original, you know, major. So, you know, like C major will be A minor and G major will be E minor, because, you know, it's if you imagine a keyboard, it'll be still three keys apart, but it's just, you know, like just a key, like 2 keys down, you know, because like those keys are contained in that chord, which gives it the relative. So normally old hip hop songs are B flat minor, which is of course G sharp major, and C sharp major pretty much is relatable to all the keys on the keyboard. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's what I've been told over the years. But you get the idea. So basically, off that, we can see that the original song key is C sharp minor here, and on here it's actually this related to E major, but you can take it down to B major as A flat minor here. So back in GarageBand, as you can see here, I'm going to change it from C sharp minor to A flat minor, because you know, it's going to be pitched down to the B major, which is quite very common for most 90s hip hop tracks. But before, in the 90s and the 80s, it was B flat minor, but it's sort of changed since then, because you know, they played at lower speeds, as I said a little earlier. But basically, it would be, you know, like E flat minor, but as you can see, it doesn't. It sort of goes up, like up a pitch and not down a pitch. So we want to do a down a pitch, so we need to take it a little bit further to A sharp minor. So I'm going to drag and drop Dolly Parton here into the track, and then of course you can change the plugin so it sounds different, so you won't get any copyright strikes or anything like that. But I'm just showing you for this purposes of this video. If you want to do it yourself without the sound effects, just make sure that you do it for your own personal use, you know, as a hobby, as I usually do, and then you should be fine. So I've done all of the plugin stuff, and then I'm going to create a new software instrument here, and I'm going to solo this so I can, you know, like, get it just right. I might not be perfect, but hey ho. Cool. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be able to hear it anyway. But anyway, I'm just going to choose this drum kit here, the Dust Bowl, because it sounds pretty good, and it sounds like, you know, just like Jay Dilla, if you've never heard of him, he's a good producer. But anyway, this is from this Apple Loop library, and you could use it for, you do the same as you did with the original sample and give that a plugin as well, just to make sure that the actual Apple Loops aren't, you know, conflicting with it, anything, because I actually found out with one of my previous albums called the Flex and Dex mixtape, YouTube wouldn't accept it because it was a copyright violation. It said it was a music bed, and basically they were saying, hey, you're trying to sell off, you know, GarageBand Apple Loops here, you're not supposed to do that. But no, I was just having a bit of fun, doing a bit of experimentation. Things didn't go my way, but anyway, so you've got you have to click on the left hand arrow just to go down, so you can get a kick on the a snare on the B, a snare on the S, I mean, and a close hi-hat on the T, and a cymbal on the U, and put it all together. As you can see, it makes a good drum track. It's so bad that you won't be able to hear it, but I'm sure you're liking this background track here. But as you can see, it's not quite in sync, it's not on the beats. As you can see, it's not, you know, on the one, as they say. But what we can do here is we can actually move them into line, and we can quantize them ourselves rather than going to the tone quantize option like we did on the sample thing, which you can also do, but it's not going to be perfect. But if you wanna be a bit more meticulous, then go with me. So I'm just going to move these drum bits into place. Sorry if you heard it all that. That's my my nan and my dad doing something on the other end. But anyway, back to the video. This is the drum beat, as you can see here, and I've all quantized it. So basically, what I usually do is from bar 5. This is all the lyrics. It goes from bar 5 to 21, 21 to 29 for the first chorus, 30 to 37 for the hook, and then 41 to the 49th bar for the second chorus, and then to the 57 there's going to be another chorus with the verse in the middle, and from 65 to 73 is the outro, and then there's like a little outro for the actual track itself, just to, you know, like just to finish it off, you know, and just like leave the sample playing, and without my drums of course, and then, you know, like, it's sort of like a self-reflection on what you listen to. And basically now we've got to do the mixing. So what I usually do for this particular track, I'm going to drag it to the 60 Hertz here, and this red one, that's like the high frequency kickoff. That's like this, and there's like the bass. So I'm just going to put that just a little bit, and maybe just to cut off the bass, I'm just going to put it like somewhere down here, so it don't, as I can say in the industry, get a bit too muddy. So I'm going to put it down here somewhere. I'm going to do this for demonstration purposes, so it's not going to sound like this in the end. But basically you do that, and of course you already heard the actual song a little while ago on my phone, but it's not the same as this version because I use my own drum kit, but the one I used on my phone was the Honey Drippers. And so if I drag this, so I've now done the treble, I've got to do the high frequency kickoff. I'm about to 8K, which is a good foundation for, you know, it's sort of like a lo-fi hip hop sort of thing. Basically, for my compressor, I go to the audio units bit, go to Apple, and then I go to the AU Dynamics processor, and then I listen back, make sure I've got the right track selected, of course. So once I've got that open, I need to drag, see this red arrow here, you need to drag it so the red arrow doesn't go red anymore, it needs to stay pretty much blue. And then once that's sort of like blue and, you know, like close enough, you can drag this one, the top one, to the nearest sort of like bar. So I'm going to drag it to the 0 decibel here, and then I'm going to do the bottom one here, up to the red one again, and then the one on the bottom left. And that's another one that's like a cut-off sort of thing, but I'm just going to try and adjust this. And then once that's done, I can do that for the other tracks, and I can go on to the master phase of the project, which I'll switch to now. So now I've done the other tracks, what I can do on the master, just skipping ahead here, you can do the exact same as I did here in the visual tracks. Just make sure you listen out for any, you know, like any frequencies you don't like, that sort of thing, and just maybe like turn some frequencies up or down, just to, you know, compensate for the voice. You need to turn like the bass down a little bit so you can get a nice clear voice. I use this thing called Lean Loudness Meter 2, and basically this is like a volume, like sort of like viewer. And basically what I set it up as a colour threshold as 9, scale offset none. The threshold is 46 as well, and the minimum is going to be minus 48. And also I'm going to view it as a minus 10 decibel so I can get nice accurate results. I use the 7.1 Dolby Atmos surround sound, not Dolby Atmos because it's like a premium version, but this version is alright, it just works alright, which is good for me. And then what I can do is go straight to mix, create the volume fade out on the main output, and basically that gently lowers the volume at the end of the track. So once you finish listening to it, it just fades away, you know. And then once you do that, you can show the song to music, but you won't be able to share it anywhere else. And you can do it to SoundCloud, and that's sort of the same. It'll go straight to Apple Music or SoundCloud or whatever it is. Of course you can airdrop, email to someone, and of course you can burn some CD, which not many people use. But another thing you can do, you can export it straight to your phone as well, or iPad or anything like that. Well, I'm going to click here and export to disk. I like WAV because it's a nice file. It's not like 16-bit like CD quality. 24-bit is like, you know, the best out there. So I'm just going to click export, and then I'm just going to title it, obviously. So I'm just going to label it How I Sample Video. Oh, hang on a minute, I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Sample video. Right. So now that's named, we can just hit export right here. There we go. just how to put a song so I don't get mixed with the video and the song. And while that bounces, it's going to record it as it's actually playing. But that's basically bouncing, it's recording and playing at the same time. So once that's done, it will be in the Finder, and then you can go ahead and play that back. And sometimes, like if you export it to MP3, it will convert it to from AAC, because that's like Apple's compression thing, and basically it will convert it to MP3 for you. So that's basically that. That's it for now of my how to sample video, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ding that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye and good night.